You go around that way.
Caleb, do you like turn-based strategies?
And do you like shooting aliens in the face?
You didn't answer my question, but XCOM 2 is the game that we're going to review now.
Gonna put those two things together.
Yeah.
Turn-based strategy and shooting aliens
Yeah.
in the face.
And turn-based strategy with procedurally generated maps and aliens.
Really? I didn't know that. I am new to the XCOM world. We are reviewing it because it is incredibly free to claim on the Epic Games Store. More about that later. But why should people be excited about this, Michal? What's the genre?
We just said it 3 times. Turn-based strategy. Well, there's actually even the base management. There's a research facility that matters a lot. A choices that really matters.
There's team building, and there's some RPG elements, and
yeah, there's a lot.
There's quite a lot.
And it's quite important. The story. It's connected to the XCOM first, which was about defending Earth from aliens. But right now, it's a bit different.
Why?
Because,
That's not a spoiler.
right?
You see it in the very
Yeah.
beginning how things are different. It's 20 years in the future.
Yeah, and aliens already took over the Earth, but not completely, and you want to take it back as humans. And you got this squad, and this squad can consist 4 to 6 characters that if they die in the battle, they die for good. Even with all the upgrades, all the nice text and everything. So it's intense. The story is intense.
Refreshing to see a game where death is death. Like, it's over. Like, you have to say goodbye. So that's one of the really interesting things about this game that I found is you start getting very quickly get attached to these little characters for some reason. I don't know.
Well, they have names. They even you can see which country they are
you should
from.
never name your soldier because they're just gonna die. But
Yeah.
here they all have names, they have countries, they have backstories, they
Yeah.
have voices. You get to know them and their skills, and then you turn around one wrong corner
Yeah.
with an alien standing on the other side, and boom, it's done.
But don't worry, there are 4 different difficulties. So if it's too hard for you, you can make it easier, or there's a really good load auto-saving system. So if the turns feels like it's too cruel to you, you can just load it back and...
But correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The XCOM games are intended to be difficult and challenging and kind of designed from a story perspective of whatever happens, you should keep moving forward. You accept responsibilities for mistakes, you learn from them.
Yeah.
It's all about the sacrifice that humanity has to make to take back Earth.
Yeah, and because of that, this game has a lot of replayability, because the events are random. Some of the story is... There's actually a lot of cutscenes that really gets you into the story. And then the maps are procedurally generated, so each time is different, and you want to like start a new game and do it better this time. But this game is still long as it is. It will take you about... I didn't make the note.
I think it's about 20 to 30 hours to finish a campaign. If you manage to get through it the first time, you may have to restart a few times depending on the level of difficulty that you're playing at.
Yeah.
It's challenging. It's challenging. I had a lot of soldiers die.
Me too.
That's good.
And
I'm glad to hear that.
You know what? When you enter the battlefield, the turn-based system has one interesting thing, and that is that each squad member has 2 turns, basically.
Right.
So you can move and then shoot, or sometimes shoot 2 times.
I think it's a really good marriage of action and strategy, because the pace is slow enough that you have to really think, okay, first he's going to do that, and then I can do that, and then he can use his special skill to do that. It's a bit like chess, except that then there are these cut scenes where you see someone like running through, or you actually see them shooting, and it increases the pace and the excitement and makes you think that you're in a first-person shooter. I can see how it could be really awkward. That was risky, and it could have backfired, because then it's trying to be both an action game and a strategy game, and it might be neither. But in this case, it works really well together.
And one thing we need to mention, because we reviewing this game in 2022, and in March 28 this year, the multiplayer was shut down for Steam version, PC Steam version, it seems there's a still Mac and Linux and consoles on multiplayer works fine, but it seems it was not popular on Steam PC, so they shut it down.
And that's important because now we are reviewing it because it's free on the Epic Games Store the week of April 14th, 2022. So you can claim it, keep it forever. That's what we do on this channel. We're not fans of a particular genre.
But actually this review is live and it's just a few minutes before it's free.
Right.
So we don't know yet if the multiplayer works.
Exactly.
Probably not. Maybe that's why it's free.
And we're just talking about the single player because that's what we play.
Yeah.
It's possible that the Epic version that comes out will have no multiplayer.
It is possible.
So we'll see. But that brings us to the most important question.
Should you play XCOM 2?
Also, I should mention, this game, even though it came out in 2014, I believe.
Yeah.
It's 2016, sorry. It is still $50 on Steam.
And it is graphically still very good.
Pretty good.
So
Indeed.
I think there is some... I know why this game is expensive. It's huge.
It's a lot of
But
content,
it is,
a lot of replayability, high quality. I'm spoiling my answer. Can I?
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can go
continue.
straight to your answer.
I mean, for anyone who's a fan of this channel, you know I'm not a fan of turn-based games. I don't like turn-based games. What I can say is I would have liked this game more if it was not turn-based. I don't know how that would work. I know. Don't at me. I don't know how it could be anything other than turn-based because it's built around the turn-based structure. But it did not make me love turn-based games. But I really loved this game. So I would say that this is a turn-based game, even for people who are not fans of turn-based games. It's not necessarily going to make you like the genre and like other turn-based games, but it's really engaging. It does so many things really well. The story got me very quickly. The stakes seem very high. You feel you are in the battle for the fate of your species, and every decision you make is absolutely vital and life or death. And that's really exciting. Also, the battles are really fun.
Yeah.
So
even though they're turn-based.
Even though they're turn-based, yeah. So yes.
Well,
Play it.
I am a fan of turn-based games and I know a lot of them, so I can compare to it and it's great. It's really great. It's fun, and even as for a hardcore fan on turn-based game, this is great. I mean, I always loved an XCOM games, and this feels like great another sequel of it. It's definitely as for me, and they even keep the fully destroyable environment. So I mean, you can't destroy rocks, but all the buildings, if you throw the grenades there are like 2 layers.
The destructibility of the environment is amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And I like that they added almost like third-person action camera. That's like the best thing they could do.
Adds a lot.
Yeah. Without it, it would still look great, but because there's this camera, and because of the visuals, it is outdated, but it doesn't look like it. I thought I am playing a game that was released like last year.
And the last thing to say is that we don't know if the multiplayer will be available on Epic, but we're going to look into it. If it is available, we're going to figure out how it works, if there are any bugs, and if it's not available, we're going to explain why. So if you're here wondering about multiplayer, check out our video specifically about multiplayer on XCOM 2.
And if you're wondering why we are reviewing this game now in 2022, it's because it's free from Epic, a AAA game.
Go and get it!
If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because more AAA games as well as indie games are coming.
And we will cover all of them. And we will make sure that you don't miss any of them. So subscribe to our channel and you will never be bored again.